Mention our governor, he used the words culturally, what was it, culturally normal. He said the party needs to get more culturally normal.
He needs to get more culturally normal.
Okay, so what exactly does culturally normally mean here? Are they admitting their party has drifted too far from everyday voters? Or is this one of those rare moments where someone on their side accidentally says the quiet part out loud? Here's Bill Maher and Stephen A. Smith absolutely humiliating Gavin Newsom. Take a look.
The Democrats are not going to win this election. The Republicans are going to lose it. There's a difference between not winning and losing, okay? The Democrats can't not win this because of all this that's going on. But that's kind of...
The Democrats can't not win this?
Not the
Democrats?
Not the midterms.
They've invented ways to lose.
Not the midterms. Okay. Not the midterm. Just don't understand the American economy. I really don't. I don't understand how there could be so much wealth and I pay so much in taxes. And it doesn't seem to get to the people. Like, I don't even mind doing it. Well, over half, always, way over half. And yet it just, I never read about the homeless getting better. Anything getting better, at least not in a city like this.
The problem that I'm having with this conversation right now is that we're accusing the politicians of not knowing. They know. $39+ trillion in debt.
Yeah.
You can't pay TSA workers $1 billion over the last month, but you could spend $800 million to $2 billion a day. You knew you had the damn money. You knew where it was. You knew how you wanted to allocate it, and you knew you didn't want it to go to the American people. That ain't ignorance, that's viciousness.
Absolutely right. Stephen A. Smith has a point here. If politicians are fully aware of the $39 trillion debt and massive government spending, yet problems like homelessness and rising costs keeps getting worse, is this really just ignorance? Or is it a question of priorities?
It's far more sexy to talk about all these billions of dollars that are missing and blah, blah, blah.
But I mean, billions of dollars missing and homelessness being bad. It's not good.
No, of course not.
But to be clear, that's not your administration. It's all a bunch of different...
I mean, this has been going on for 30 years.
Yeah.
But you know, money unaccounted for, unfortunately, that immediately translates into theft.
Yeah.
And it's not theft. I mean, you know, it just isn't.
What is it?
That is not to say
it's just like accounting or...
Yes. Yeah, and there needs to be, I mean, there's just so much. I could take up the entire time telling you about all the problems.
Just give me your top two.
Yeah, my top one was that we did not build interim housing.
Right.
You know, we were dogmatic about housing first. And people fall in love with their policies and they won't evaluate them to see, is it really working?
Yeah.
And then we do not provide services in an adequate, comprehensive way. One of the services we provide, just to give you an example, is when we take you off the street and put you in a hotel, a community-based organization takes over the management. The city can't do that day to day.
Sure.
The community-based organizations are doing all they can, but it's not enough. So one of their responsibilities is to provide you 3 meals a day. Well, if you've been smoking meth and you no longer have teeth, what are your 3 meals a day going to do for you?
Absolutely mind-blowing. How can these politicians claim it's not theft if they don't even know where the money went? Seriously, look at California. If Newsom can't even manage a single state and openly admits to being incompetent, how could anyone possibly trust him to run the entire country? Who would actually want him as a president?
The top, Newsom or Harris?
Well, first of all, he said he can't read, okay? You know, he did an interview. I have no idea who did the interview. I've never seen the gentleman. I'm sure he's excellent. But he did an interview a couple of weeks ago that was maybe the worst interview for a professional politician that I've ever seen. He said he's mentally incompetent. He can't read a speech. He said things about his brain. He's got bad this. And then he looked at the room and he said something to the effect that, I'm dumb just like all of you people. And he ends up being called a racist because of that statement. This was the worst interview, but he admitted that he was a stupid person, and we don't want a stupid person as president.
With a low IQ person, you know, because Gavin Newsom has admitted that he has learning disabilities. Honestly, I'm all for people with learning disabilities, but not for my president. I think a president should not have learning disabilities, okay? And I know it's highly controversial to say such a horrible thing, the President of the United States, Gavin Newsom, admitted that he has learning disabilities, dyslexia, everything about him is dumb. But
Trump is absolutely right. If Newsom himself admits he can't read a speech properly, struggles mentally, and even calls himself dumb in front of an audience, how are Californians expecting him to actually solve their homeless crisis? That's exactly the kind of leadership failure that leaves people asking, what is he even doing in office?
What we call a 10-year plan to end chronic homelessness in San Francisco.
How are you going to solve homelessness? What are you going to do as a new mayor? And I say, well, what are you going to do?
Focus on a housing first model, direct access to housing.
Shelter solves sleep, housing with wraparound and support services solve homelessness. Homelessness absolutely can be solved.
Laid out a detailed homeless strategy. There's been no intentionality on homelessness in this state for decades. It's not been a focus.
I don't think we can solve homelessness. I know we can solve homelessness. We will reduce street homelessness quickly and humanely through emergency action. We are poised to pass a budget in the next few hours that will provide $12 billion of investment.
I can literally quantify 58,000 people that we got off the streets last year, and none of you would believe it.
This state has not made progress in the last 2 decades as it relates to homelessness.
Why? Not interested in funding failure. We're not interested in failing more efficiently when it comes to the issue of homelessness.
But what a complete joke. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say it, but Newsom's track record is, well, it's not exactly impressive. We're talking about a governor who openly admits he can't read a speech properly, calls himself dumb, and struggles with basic competence in public interviews. On top of that, California continues to face rising homelessness, skyrocketing living costs, and a population that keeps leaving the state. How can someone with that kind of record expect voters to trust him with the biggest responsibility in the world, like running the entire country? It's honestly shocking. These Democrats are truly losing their grip. Look at the pattern here. Their leadership seems completely disconnected from everyday Americans. Policies are failing, cost keeps rising, and their cities are still struggling with homelessness. Meanwhile, they obsess over identity politics and cultural signaling instead of solving real problems. Even their own allies, like Bill Maher and Stephen A. Smith, are openly criticizing them. Voters see it. Approval ratings are tanking, independents are breaking away, and faith in leadership is collapsing. At this rate, the party risks alienating the very people it claims to represent. It should be a wake-up call for their entire party. Newsom should actually go read a Cat in the Hat book and leave this to the big boys. He isn't ready for the big stage. Running California is already a massive challenge, and he's failing on multiple fronts. Yet, somehow, the idea of him running for president is floating around. How can someone who can't even manage one state hope to lead the nation? Leadership on the national level requires vision, discipline, and results. Qualities Newsom has consistently failed to demonstrate. He's simply not prepared. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.